Hello, we are live again. Yes, hello, and welcome to another exciting series of the Expandly docu-series. Yeah, the series where we are documenting our journey from acquiring a new piece of software and to adapting it, changing it, giving you the highs, the lows, the insights, what worked, what hasn't worked, and so on. So I'm really excited for you to join us. Today, we're going to be talking about what Expandly 1.0 is, because I think it's really important that before we move along any further, you really get to understand what the product is today, because as you see over the next 10 weeks or so, you're going to start to see that transformation and understand how we've done that. This docu-series is for people that are e-commerce entrepreneurs that want a piece of software, so you can learn about this software. Yes, of course you can. But this is about business leaders' journey through acquiring a business, adapting the business, and creating something into something unique and different so that it really represents the market and the business in where we're traveling and what we're doing. So my name's Andy Hooper. I'm the CEO of Global E-commerce Experts in the GE Capital Group. We've got a number of different businesses, but our main core business is to globally expand e-commerce brands. We solve all the compliance, all of the logistics, and all of the online distribution piece. And today is the online distribution. Expandly is the online distribution management tool that we use, that we acquired back in July last year. For those that didn't see last week's episode was talking through that why we wanted to acquire businesses, a business that we did acquire, Expandly, why we acquired Expandly, some of the highs and lows through the acquisition process, and how we got to here. And we talked about last week that actually before we went any further, we thought it was important for you to be able to have a look at what Expandly 1.0 is. And today I'm really excited because I've got someone who's been with Expandly for a very long time. And when you acquire a business, there's something called a 2P regulation here in the UK. What it basically means is if you acquire a business, you can't basically sack all the staff off to make sure that the employees have got a job. And I'm super excited because Tony was a member of the team before we acquired the business. She's been a long-standing member of the team. We're going to learn to hear more from her in a moment. And I think that that's really powerful because she's got a huge amount of knowledge and information about the business. And I can't wait to bring her on to talk through in brief detail. We're not going to go a full public demonstration here, but we are going to give you the nuts and bolts of what it does and where it is. So let's welcome Tony. Tony, hi.
Hi, Andy.
Thank you very much for joining us. So I was just telling the audience a little bit about our last episode about how we acquired the business. So why don't you do a little introduction, give us your name, what you do within Expandly, and perhaps how long you've been with the business.
Yeah, of course. So hi, everyone. I'm Tony Green. I am the Customer Success Manager here at Expandly. So I started many moons ago, back in 2018. So yeah, it's been a long journey so far with Expandly, and hopefully a lot longer to go. My primary role is the customer success. So everything from supporting our customers on a daily basis with any ongoing queries, questions, support that they need. But I also link really closely in with the product manager and development team here. So really taking any feedback that we get from customers, from using the platform day to day, and working with the teams to make changes and adaptations where we see fit.
Nice, excellent, Tony. Well, thank you. So you were obviously part of the business before, and you said since 2018. So you've seen it go through a handful of changes over that period, I guess. Just give us perhaps some highlights that, some of the highs of being in the business that long, and some of the great things that have happened.
I think for me, it's definitely seeing the progression in how good the platform is. So when I first started, it was quite a long time ago now. There's been a lot of development changes that we've put in. to make the platform really robust, to make it a really strong platform, to make the logic as competent as we can, to make sure that what we're saying that we can do, we know that we're doing really, really well. So I think from my point of view, seeing that grow and being part of the team that has made that happen has been really exciting.
Nice. Okay. Well, look, let's give people an introduction to Expandly and what it does. So, Expandly is an amazing piece of software. It's a great tool that for many of our clients, they would see a huge amount of benefit from. Now, who would you say is the ideal customer for what it is and what it stands for today?
So currently, I would say e-commerce retailers, SMEs are probably our target market, and the functionality that we have currently is really aimed towards those sort of businesses and sellers.
Nice. All right, fantastic. Well, look, let's get into one of the first main things that it does, and for me, this is where we start getting into the exciting bit.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. There we go. So, Tony, talk us through the inventory management and how that works within Expandly.
Yeah, so I would say that the inventory management is probably one of our most used features from our customers. So what it allows customers to do essentially is manage all of their stock and their quantities across channels. So we've got direct integrations with channels such as Amazon, eBay, Etsy, a whole host of web carts that includes Shopify, WooCommerce and things like that. So it allows them to connect up those sales channel accounts to Expandly and push and share quantity data across the different listings that a particular SKU could be listed on. So it's a really, really strong feature in terms of preventing oversell and potentially missing, being able to update a listing in time because it's all automated. Anytime an order comes in, we will automatically trigger for that stock to be updated in real time.
I think that's really important because quite often a seller will say to us, "Oh yeah, well I've got, I'm selling on Amazon, eBay, and a whole host of other places." I'm like, "Well, how are you managing that inventory? Because Amazon thinks you've got 320 units, but eBay thinks you've got 320 units, and you've just sold 20 units.
Yeah.
So how quickly are you updating that is what we say to the sellers, but how quickly does that update within the system?"
So within the system, we fetch new sale order data every 60 seconds. So relatively instantly. If something is sold on eBay, within sort of the 60 seconds, that order will be in and we would have pushed that quantity update out to the likes of Amazon or their website, for example.
Fantastic. I guess the other piece of this is, does it give complete transparency where the how much inventory you've got in stock, and does it do it historically as well? So could I look to see how much stock we have? If it was our stock inventory management, can I see how much stock we had on the 10th of December last year?
Not currently. It's more real time at the moment, so it works in comparison to what is live and active on the websites or Amazon, for example.
Okay. Can it pull reports on historic numbers?
Yeah. So we've got a whole host of reporting and loads of data where we can give all of that information.
Okay, and we'll come on to, let's not steal our thunder with reports. We'll come on to that in a moment. So, okay, so inventory management, core part of what it does. If you need something that's going to be able to manage your inventory, sync between the different platforms so you know how much you've got, that's the number one epic piece that it does. All right,
Yeah.
Let's move on from that and let's move on to product management. Go for it. What's the core piece here?
So product management is very, very varied, to be completely honest with you. So where we have these direct integrations with a number of different selling channels, what you can do is import your listings, which will create a product for you within Expandly that you can manage. From a management perspective, that could be managing your current listings, so making changes within Expandly and revising them out to any current listings that you have. But it also gives you the ability to be able to take those products that have been created and push them to other sales channels where it's not possibly listed already. So If, for example, all of your product base is on Amazon, but you want to look to move on to a different selling channel, because you are creating the master product within Expandly, it's really easy to be able to push those products in bulk from one place to multiple different selling channels that you potentially want to get listing on.
Okay, that's really powerful, isn't it? So it's giving you speed to market on multiple channels to speed up that process. Presumably for most sellers though, once they've got that listing, they've got a generic, let's call it a generic listing. Would that be the best way of looking at it?
Yeah.
They then need to go into each of those platforms to then fine tune that to make that really, really cool, to get that according to the marketplace is guidelines, or can that be done in the system as well?
It can all be done within Expandly. So we allow the ability to sort of conform to all of the channel requirements. So item specifications, for example, shipping. You can also edit your products and determine sales channel by sales channel, or account by account, even if you have more than one, what sort of information you want to show. So that could be a different selling price, it could be a different description, it could be a different title, for example. So it really gives that flexibility and being able to create the product and listing to how you want it for that specific channel.
Nice. So in my head, I've got all my inventory in one place synced, and now I've got my listings synced. So in one place, I'm able to sync those listings and sync the inventory. So that's two really core pieces that really solidify how useful this can be.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, the amount of headaches we have from customers that say just trying to manage it from even two different selling channels, it just becomes an absolute minefield in terms of what you need to put where. If you've just got one central place that you can do it and push, it makes that a lot easier and avoids a lot of mistakes as well, a lot of errors being made.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. Fantastic. Well, let's move on to the next piece, and order management and shipping, because it's all very well syncing your inventory. It's all very well getting your listings right, but hopefully you're going to sell something.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So talk us through the order management piece and how that works.
Yeah, so our order management is a central hub, a bit like with the products and listings, a central hub for customers to be able to see all of their online sales from one central location. So again, without needing to log into loads of different screens and accounts, you can just simply manage your orders from one simple screen. It goes all the way through from picking, packing, you can create invoices, you can send your orders to Xero. So it really is a one-stop shop of being able to really manage your orders and also push data back out to the sales channel. So if you change the status, that will update. If you add shipping information, that will update. So the sales channels are also being updated automatically as well. Again, taking out the need for you to be logging into loads of different places to do one thing. So yeah, it's a really, really useful tool. In terms of shipping, we've got a number of different direct shipping integrations, which also allows shipping labels to be generated as well. So instead of needing to log into Royal Mail to manage all of that, you can do that through Expandly too. Those labels then again will filter through to the Royal Mail account, but also will update to the sales channel as well. So really, really useful tool, our order management. We also have a lot of different order rules, so you can automate it even further. So really taking the headaches out of what we know can be headaches with managing the orders and getting them out on time.
So interestingly, so you've sold some products, the orders come through, you've got some order rules that says, well, if I sell this product, it needs to be posted to by Royal Mail 24, 48 or whatever.
Yeah.
So interestingly, if you was setting up an e-commerce business and you was omni-channel, you was on lots of different marketplaces and channels, and you was fulfilling it from home, let's say, actually, you'd have all of that built into the system. There'd be no need for any additional software. You would just be able to walk into your garage, pick an item, pack it, stick a label on it, and ship it out. Is that fair?
Yeah, agreed.
Nice.
There's also like a number of filters. So As you are going through the management process, you can filter the pages to show you certain dates or statuses and things like that, really making it as easy as possible for you to know what you've got and what you still need to get done.
Okay, nice. But what I'm presuming it doesn't do is that it doesn't have a warehouse management function that says this item is located in aisle 1, shelf B, box C, for example.
Yeah, that's correct. That bit we don't currently deal with.
Fantastic. That's great, because I think for people listening and they're thinking about what does this do, it's great to understand what the limitations are and what the advantages of it are. You know, if you are a solopreneur just starting your business that needs a piece of software, I mean, this is the more I talk about it, I mean, I don't know why we're adapting and changing this software. This software is ready for people to use. Like, this isn't this people have been buying this software for years. And it's a great tool. Okay, that's fantastic. All right, let's move on and let's touch on the reports, because in the world of big data, in the world of AI, and in the world of I've got all these sales and all this information, talk me through the different sort of reports that people can get from the system that will help them to run and manage their business.
Yeah, of course. So as you can probably appreciate, where we can pull in a load of different data from products and listings and orders, we can collate a really wide range of data which customers can then create or use. We've got some default reports, but they can create reports to really hone in into what they want to see. So we offer product, order and listing reports currently, and also a zero for accounting purposes report. But there's a number of different filters, formulas, keywords that you can put into that report to, as the end result, get the data showing as you want it to. What you can then do is simply export that into Excel, where you can then maybe put it into another app such as BI, or manipulate the data from there to be able to see and really drill down into the details that we've been able to provide from collating all of that data within the platform.
Okay, so how does the data come? Is it into a dashboard, or is it specifically into a Excel spreadsheet, for the want of a better word?
Excel spreadsheet currently.
Okay, nice. So again, the strength is being able to pull this information. And when you look at some of these reports, and I just want to highlight a couple, because having run in my own e-commerce business, having run and supported thousands of e-commerce sellers, some of these are really key. Like, let's start with a low stock report. You need to know what you're running out of stock for, because if you don't know what you're running out of stock, you don't know what to order. If you don't know what to order, you can't sell when it goes out of stock. So that's the first thing. Obviously, a listing and all those sort of things are really important. Cost of goods sold, that's really important. Returning customers report. I mean, how many times have you sold to the same customer? What does that look like, and how do you then follow up with that person? Because if someone's bought several items from you in the past, how do you then make sure you're getting a review from that person? How do you make sure that actually, if they've got a unboxing video, they could do an unboxing video for you and put it online and be an influencer and help spread your word? So I think there's a whole load of really good orders there. I mean, orders by sales channel, where are you selling, where are you not selling? And I think, again, that's really powerful. All right, Tony, thank you. Let's move on to the last piece, which is one of the sort of fifth core element, if you like, of what Expandly does, which is accounting. Like, I mean, if you've got an e-commerce business, you need to know how to account for this. And lots of UK businesses, us included as a business, have Xero as an accounting package. It's really straightforward to have a simple accounting package like Xero, and Xero's integrated with Expandly. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. Direct integration with them.
Okay, I mean, that's a big deal, because there's not a huge amount of places that do have a direct integration like that. So talk us through what it can do, Tony.
Yeah, so the Xero connection is really powerful, to be completely honest. It was built by an accountant with an accountant's needs in mind. So from that perspective, the way it's been built is really strong, and really works for accountants wanting to push data into Xero. So We allow customers to send their sale orders over, so they would post as invoices in Xero. They have the ability to do that individually or grouped. So the batching method is there to help avoid hit Xero's soft transaction limits. So Xero will have some limits in place, which means that sometimes you have to go onto different pricing tiers and things like that. So we've got that batching, so it consolidates the orders into one invoice. So that's really useful. Customers can include the product SKU in their invoices. So what that means is that the SKU will be included on the invoice, and that in turn can trigger the inventory tracking functionality within Xero, which is really useful. You can post to unique sales accounts, but also have the ability to determine whether you want those to go through as draft, approved, or paid. If you're sending them as paid, you also then have the ability, dependent on currency and sales channel, to drill even further into where you want them to go, whether that's a bank or control account. So that bit of it is really key and really useful for accountants wanting to make sure that their orders go into the right place.
Yep.
You can also sort of post your other revenues and taxes. We have a really strong tax structure set up to make sure that the correct taxes are being applied and pushed across. And also you're able to automate that process as well. So our Xero scheduler will allow you to automatically push orders either weekly, daily, or monthly, which means if you're using us for accounting only, really there's nothing you need to do. You just need to set everything up, and everything is just working in the background for you. So yeah, all of that stuff is really key. We also push credit notes, so any returns or cancelled orders, we can create credit notes for them. And very, very recently, we have also introduced some additional VAT functionality, which will allow Amazon settlements to be brought into Expandly too. So capturing anything that's not provided on the order, and then they can also be pushed into Xero as well as an invoice. So quite a lot of accounting bits there.
So two things there then. So the Amazon can automatically sync their orders going backwards and forwards. So there's no need to log in, send your sales data to your accountant or anything like that, your VAT accountant. So for clients that use us for our VAT services through Global E-commerce Experts, what we used to have to do is go and collect the sales data and bring it from Amazon. Well, obviously now utilizing this software, we're not going to need to do that. Mm-hmm. Do people need their own Xero account, or is that something that you can set up, or how does that work?
They would usually have their own. We can offer support in how they can get that set up. But yeah, usually they'd have their own account, either through their accountant or one that they're managing themselves. Yep. But yeah, it would usually be their own. Every account would probably need an individual Xero account for us to be able to push the data successfully.
Fine. I'm only going to give one little tidbit away about what's to come in the future. But in the future, you won't need to do that. That'll all be integrated in the system. So if anyone's thinking, I've got to go and set up another account, as it stands today, you do. And that's perfectly fine. In the future, you won't need to do that. That'll all be managed centrally by our teams and supported, because for me, Xero is the easiest accounting software package we have that I've ever used. And I've had 15 to 20 different businesses and had various different ways of doing those. In the early days, in all fairness, it was just a spreadsheet. And as the years progressed, I progressed into different pieces of software. And this was, Xero was the software we used. It's just an amazing piece of tool. Okay, so lots of people use something called A2X to sync some of their sales data and stuff. So I know that we have just basically looked at that, and we've now able to replicate that so that people wouldn't need an A2X integration as well, would they? They would just need this as their integration.
Agreed. Yeah, that's exactly the settlement piece is the bit of the puzzle that we were missing. So yeah, now that's been launched, that takes away the need for an A2X account as well as an Expandly.
And if you think that for A2X it's £25 or £30 per connection per marketplace, if you're selling on 10 marketplaces, that's £300 a month just in A2X connections. And it really does. And anyone that wants to successfully expand or successfully launch an e-commerce business, you do need to be omni-channel. Most people are selling omni-channel. Whilst in initial, we're seeing a huge amount of uptick right now in TikTok shops and all the rest of it. Actually long-term e-commerce has always won on omni-channel. That omni-channel approach is always the best way to go. So the more you can do that, the better by any shadow of the word. Okay, all right, fantastic, Tony. So the 4 key parts: the inventory management, listing management, order management and shipping, reports, and the zero thing. I mean, to me, zero. Expanded 1.0 is an amazing tool just on its own. And I don't know why we didn't do one of these 6 months ago when we acquired it. So one of the lessons learned as of today is to share a video just like this for other acquisitions we've done, and to do it as soon as possible, because actually there's a huge mileage in just spelling some of this stuff out. All right, so Tony, with Expandly then, what is, roughly for people listening, what's the monthly cost of this?
So at the moment, our pricing starts from £350 a month. We have different pricing plans available that are on the website, but sort of our mostly commonly bought package would be our standard, which is £350, give or take, a month. It can be a little bit more, it can be a little bit less, dependent on the frequency and minimum period that people sign up to. But yeah, 350 is the current.
Okay, I mean, amazing. So, I mean, when you start looking at this, when you start thinking about, a piece of software that can manage your inventory, control your listings, do your order management and print labels and connected couriers, if that's what you needed to do, produce the reports for your business, and solve your accounting piece. Outside of that, yes, currently you do need a zero account on top of that, which is £15 or £20 a month, right? Outside of that, you've got a piece of software that is out of the box ready to basically help you kick your e-commerce business into touch. I mean, it's bonkers really. So, okay, Tony, absolutely awesome. So if people want to get a demo for this, how do they get a demo for the software?
So they can just head over to our website, so expandly.com. On the website at the top, there'll be a little book a demo tab that they can click on, and then it will just simply be choose a date and a time that suits you, and then that meeting will be the demo to go through any needs that they have and showcase the system.
Amazing. All right, fantastic. So look, Tony, I really appreciate your time. It's been great to get you on to hear about Expandly 1.0. For those who are listening, we've talked about this Expandly 2.0 thing. We are adapting this software, we're changing this software, and we are making it much more modern than what it currently looks, would be fair to say. We're going through a process of updating the software, but we'll be adding in some real core functionality that for anyone that wants to expand their business, scale their business, and grow their business, this is going to be a complete game-changing piece of software. Now, what I'm going to say is that if you want to join the waiting list, which I hope you do, then you can go to expandly.com/2-0-waitlist to get onto the waiting list. If you do that, you'll be in luck to get some of the beta testing and to get involved. So that's what I'm excited to talk to you about. Now, I do need to tell you about what's next week, because next week, and I'm flicking through my book as I go to make sure I give you the right information, because we're going through this process of talking you through how and what we did. I guess the learning that I should really pull out from here is making sure we do one of these demos earlier. I talked about it already. We should have done that sooner. So what we're going to be talking about next week is post-acquisition. We're going to be talking about the process we went through to adapt what we've done, taken on board, and to go through the process. We use a process called OATS for acquisitions: observe, assess, track, and shift. And next week, I'm going to be talking you through what we've done, how we've done it, some of the highs and lows of doing that, just so you can avoid doing that. but give you the opportunity to learn our oats process and what that means to us and to Expandly. And as we again, I will have another guest next week. I can't remember who it's off the top of my head it is, and I like to spring it onto them on the day so they're pumped and ready for the session. Tony, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
No worries at all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode, and hopefully we'll see you at Expandly 1.0 and 2.0 very, very